Hey, it's Stefanie Lugo, and in today's Tip Tuesday, I'm sharing how to edit photos for Instagram. Nothing complicated, just a few easy steps I take to make editing photos fun and simple for my real estate business. And if you stay till the end, I'll show you how you can get my free Lightroom presets that you can use to edit your photos at the push of a button, so stay tuned. If we haven't met yet, I'm Stefanie Lugo, award-winning realtor in Arizona, and welcome to Tip Tuesday, where I share tips on growing your real estate business. If you're into that kind of thing, be sure to hit subscribe below to stay in the loop with the latest What's Working Now strategies with real estate marketing on social media. Editing photos for Instagram is always a lot easier when you have a great photo starting out, so I want to start this video with a few tips on taking great photos for the gram. I get asked all the time how I edit my photos in a way to make them stand out, look cohesive with a similar look and feel so that my Instagram feed looks professional for potential clients, and without fail, one question that always comes up is, do I need a professional camera to do this? How do I take a good photo in the first place? So to start, let's chat about a few things that you can do to really get a great image to post to Instagram. Now, when it comes to the photos that you take yourself to post, I say that the best camera is the camera that you have. Don't worry about having a crazy expensive digital camera or even hiring a professional photographer for all of your Instagram photos. Most of my photos were taken with my iPhone X. So if you have a newer smartphone, like 2 years or less, that will probably be fine. These new smartphones are so powerful and take amazing quality photos. Now, when you're taking an image, just make sure that a few things are in place. Ask yourself if the subject matter makes sense. Is the subject matter on brand, meaning is this photo gonna make sense in my feed? Be sure to share photos that are on brand because this will help them feel more cohesive right off the bat. This is a topic that I go way into depth on in my course, Insta Growth for Real Estate, which, is linked below. So if you want to check that out, head to the show notes and take a look. Now, aside from making sure the photo is on brand, make sure the lighting is good. Try to stay away from harsh sunlight or glares. For example, for selfie photos or videos, it's always great to take them near a window that is letting in natural light, but not that harsh direct sunlight that will blow out an image, meaning make it look super white and overexposed. Now, if you want to try to stay away from selfie photos, you can always just ask someone to take a photo of you. Just be sure to tell them exactly how you want yourself framed in the photos, or buy a simple tripod off Amazon. I have this one, I linked it below. It was like 20 bucks, and it's perfect for using your smartphone to take photos or videos. Just set your smartphone camera on a timer, 10 seconds, set up the image, and hit your pose. Now, when you have a great image to edit, it's time to employ the help of a great photo editing app. I want to share two that I really like, the first being VSCO. VSCO is probably the most popular app out there, and what's great about it is how easy it makes editing photos. You can simply pull up a photo, select a filter, press it, and you're done. You'll notice that there are a lot of filters that you can choose, and here's my tip. Stick with like 1 to 3 of these settings and don't deviate. Why? Because you want your images to be cohesive in your feed, to the point of being recognizable at a glance. Staying on brand in this way will help things consistent and create more brand recognition with your audience. Super important. So if I were to edit a photo using VSCO to upload my feed, here's what I would do. I have this uploaded into the app. This is an image, as you can see, of a front door of a remodel that we actually did a little while ago. And if you notice, this is actually in a horizontal landscape orientation, meaning it's going left to right, and that's a problem. Instagram favors vertical images going up and down or perfectly square. And so that's something that I want to address right away. So I'm just going to go to the little toggle button at the bottom. I'm going to hit adjust, and I'm going to choose one of these preset crop selections so that I can make sure it's nice and vertical. 4x5 seems to do really well for me. That's kind of my go-to. And I'll adjust it over to make sure that it's capturing the garage and the door and that cute porch light. That was a Bryce selection from Overstock, if you wanted to know. And I'm gonna make sure that that image is still nice and framed. And that looks really good. So I went ahead and accepted that crop, and now I'm gonna make my edits. Now the great thing about VSCO is it has all of these awesome presets, and I really like the KP filters. So there's a couple here that you can see, KP1, KP2, and so on. My suggestion is to pick like 1 to 3 at the max and stick with those. For me, those happen to be KP1, KP2, and KP3. Now each image is different, and I'm just gonna select one that is going to bring out some interest in the photo without ruining the integrity of the actual image. And so for this one, it's looking like KP3 is gonna look good. It's not messing with the actual tone of that charcoal paint color too much, but it is bringing out some other deeper tones, and it looks really nice. So I'll just select that. If you click it twice, you can adjust the intensity. So you can see here, this is what it looks like with no KP3. This is a full intensity. I'm gonna leave it at full. You can also adjust the warmth here. I don't really like to mess with those. You can adjust the character, which is also going to change the integrity of the photo. I don't really feel the need to do any of that because this is still already just a good image. So I just need something that's gonna, make it pop. So I'm gonna select that, looks good. Sometimes though, you'll have images that need a little more tweaking, and this is one of them. For example, this image was taken outside but away from the sun, so there are some shadows, it's a little dark. To take care of that, I like my photos to look nice and bright, so I'm gonna hit that exposure. I'm gonna bring that up just a little bit. But that can also mess with your contrast. So I'm gonna make sure to go ahead and bring up the contrast as well so I don't lose any of the depth of that cool black door. Now I wanna make sure that this is nice and sharp. So I'll go ahead and hit up the sharpen tool as well, because that's gonna bring in a lot of detail, make things look nice and crisp. You can see that doormat is really popping now, and there's a lot more detail in that stamped concrete flooring on the patio as well. I like that a lot, so I'm gonna go ahead and select. And this is what I might do to edit my photo. I'm not gonna do anything too crazy. I'm gonna make sure it pops, I'm gonna make sure it looks good, but I also wanna make sure that I have a good image to start with, and that's gonna help me just keep a good canvas to get started on. So that's my edit for VSCO. I'm gonna go ahead and click next. I'll save it to my camera roll, and then I'm ready to post to Instagram. Now another app that I love to use is Lightroom. The mobile app is free in Lightroom, and I like it because it gives you a bit more control in terms of finer edits to your photos. But what I really love is that I can create or upload presets to Lightroom for my own use. For example, I created 4 presets that I love to use with Lightroom, and these presets are custom settings that I've saved to a profile that I can apply to any photo. The settings are custom to me and my business, and sticking to them really help make sure that every image I edit is going to look cohesive and on brand. You can download these presets to try for yourself by downloading my free guide below, and you can even find presets to download like on Etsy or from other Instagrammers that you might follow. Now Lightroom's gonna be pretty similar to VSCO, and I uploaded an image of Bryce here from a recent vacation that we took, and this is what it would look like to add on a preset that I already have saved. Now I'll scroll all the way to the end to presets, and you'll see that I have the 4 presets that I like to use already loaded in here. Now I might hit portrait for this one just to see, and sometimes it takes a little while to load because these are a lot of settings that have to apply here. I'll kind of just go through the 3. Every image is so different that sometimes a filter or a preset will look really good on one and not another image. And in this case, I'm kind of liking portrait and city. Let me just look one more time. Yeah, I like portrait because it's bringing out the brightness in Bryce's swim trunks. It makes the colors look really nice, and it brings a little more clarity. But I'm gonna go ahead and select that. But not every image is going to work with every single preset, so there are some finer details that I actually want to do here to make sure that this image is really going to pop. First, I'm going to go to light, and I'm going to make sure that these highlights are really blown up. And what I mean by that is I want to make the highlights less bright so that you're not getting any glares, and I want to bring the shadows up to make sure that his face is visible underneath his hat, that kind of thing. Those look pretty good. And then from light, I might head to color and up the vibrance and saturation on here. Why? Because the lighting is it's such direct sunlight, which is why you kind of want to stay away from that. It's blowing out the image, meaning you're losing some of the detail and intensity of the color here. So to solve that, I'm gonna touch the saturation just a little bit, make sure that he's still there. And this is what it looked like before and after. I'm just gonna make sure I'm not too far off. By holding your thumb down on the screen, it'll show you the before and after. And then I might go to effects. Again, there just really is a lot that's getting blown out here. So I wanna make sure that he's still gonna be very in focus, very detailed. The clarity is gonna help me with that in the effects, and sharpening, sound familiar? And detail is gonna help me with that as well. I don't want to ruin the integrity of this photo. I just want to make sure it's going to look really nice and in focus, very sharp, and I think this will do it for me. So I hit the preset, I made a little finer adjustments, and this is what it looks like before. This is what it looks like after. A lot better, right? Kind of like magic. So I'm just going to go ahead and save this to my camera roll in the maximum quality image available. And there you go. I'm ready to post. So there you have it. Now, of course, there are a few other apps that I've dabbled with, but I really believe less is more, and these two apps, they never let me down. I don't overcomplicate these things because at the end of the day, we are real estate agents. We need to focus on selling homes, and so these apps make photo editing easy and seamless so that I can spend more time with my clients or off of work with friends and family. And finally, it's time for the question of the day. What is your favorite app for photo editing? Tell me in the comments. I would love to hear what apps you love using to make photo editing easy for Instagram. And always, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, keep on crushing it.